good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Ilorin. It's a beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning this morning. And Ramadan is 20 today, so it's March 2025. So, we, the Muslims, are seeking for the blessed months of Laylatul Qadr. So, Allahumma balighna Laylatul Qadr. And may Allah accept all of our ibadah in this holy, beautiful, precious last 10 months of this beautiful months, last 10 days, of Ramadan. So may we witness this holy month, inshallah. So as you already know, we bring you daily newspaper review on Emirate Radio, and I am Latifa Ibrahim Arono. On today's newspaper review, we have the Vanguard newspaper, the Leadership newspaper, the Nation newspaper, and the Tribune newspaper. So come with me on this beautiful, beautiful morning. And on the Vanguard newspaper, we have release of Nnamdi Kanu not connected to Southeast security issues, says Soludo. The government of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo, has said releasing the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, from detention and insecurity in the Southeast are two different issues. Kanu has been in detention by the Department of State Service (DSS) for about 5 years since his arrest from Kenya by the Nigerian government, despite calls from different quarters for his release. Some people who are calling for the release of IPOB leader urge that it will reduce the level of insecurity in the Southeast. But during a media chat to celebrate its third anniversary on Monday, Governor Soludo, who is among those who have been calling for Kanu's release, said, "The release of Nnamdi Kanu for me is different from the issues of security. I separate the two. I don't link the two. Nnamdi Kanu for me is for us to have a conversation of a long-term future for the Igbos, and that is a different conversation." Still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, South governors reject Tinubu's state of emergency declaration in Rivers. The South Governors Forum has expressed strong reservation over the federal government's declaration of a 6-month state of emergency in Rivers State, noting that the political situation does not warrant such drastic action. In a statement signed by the chairman of the forum and governor of Bayelsa State, the Tinosodoye Diri, the governors acknowledged the president's constitutional duty to maintain law and order, but noted that the conditions outlined in Section 305 in bracket 3 of Nigerian Constitution for declaring a state of emergency had not been met. The current political situation in Rivers State does not satisfy the criteria for declaring a state of emergency as outlined in the Constitution. Such a declaration should be considered only under extreme conditions like war, external aggression, imminent invasion, or a breakdown of public order, existential threats to Nigerian natural disaster, or other significant public dangers, the statement read. The South Governors Forum further argued that the removal of a governor, deputy governor, or the members of the House of Assembly must follow constitutional procedures as stipulated in Section 188 and suggested that due process may not have been fully considered before the emergency declaration. Still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, NLC, TUC to Tinubu reverse emergency rule. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, have condemned the recent declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State and the suspension of elected officers. The two Labour centers say the action of the president blatantly violated the provision of Part 3, Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, and constituted an overreach of executive power. Consequently, they demanded the immediate reversal of what they describe as unconstitutional states of emergency in the interest of democracy, economic stability, and the welfare of Nigerian workers. A statement issued by the NLC president, Comrade Joe Ajero, and his TUC counterparts, Comrade Festus Osifo, warned that Nigeria's democracy must not be sacrificed on the altar of political a pendency. The statement partly read, "The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria (TUC) unequivocally condemn Mr. President's hasty and unconstitutional declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State." Still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, 6 dead, 14 vehicles burnt in Nyanya Bridge tragic accident, FCT police. The Federal Capital Territory FCT Police Command has confirmed that 6 people lost their lives and 14 vehicles were engulfed in flames following a tragic accident at Nyanya Bridge, Abuja on Wednesday night. In a statement on Thursday, the police public relations officer SP Josephine Ade described the incident as devastating, stating that a heavily loaded Dangote truck lost control and crashed into stationary vehicles caught in fire. At about 6:58 p.m. on March 19, 2025, a distress call was received at Karu Division reporting a horrifying scene. A Dangote trailer carrying cement lost control while approaching Nyanya Bridge from AYA and rammed into multiple vehicles, triggering a massive inferno, she said. Emergency responders battled the raging flames and thick smoke to rescue those trapped. Unfortunately, 6 victims were rushed to the hospital but were later confirmed dead. Their remains have been deposited at the Karu General Hospital morgue. Fire responded personnel, police operatives, and other security agencies managed to control the fire, and normal traffic has since been restored. The FCT Police Command expressed condolence to the victims' family and assured the public that investigations are underway to determine the cause and prevent future occurrences. And on the leadership newspaper this morning, no shortage of HIV drugs in Nigeria, says NACA. The National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, has assured Nigerians, particularly those living with HIV, that there is no shortage of antiretroviral drugs in the country. In response to concerns raised following a recent World Health Organization (WHO) press conference, NACA reaffirmed that the federal government has taken proactive steps to ensure a steady supply of HIV medication in the country. The agency highlighted key government interventions, including the approval of $1.7 billion by the Federal Executive Council (FEC) for healthcare sector reforms under the Human Capital Opportunities for Prosperity and Equity program. Additionally, 4.8 billion naira has been allocated specifically for HIV treatments, and the Nigerian Senate recently approved an extra 300 billion naira for the health sector in the 2025 budget. The Director General of NACA, Dr. Temitope Ilori, said that those financial commitments aim to mitigate the effects of the United States government's temporary pause on aid, ensuring that Nigeria's HIV response remains uninterrupted. While acknowledging the long-standing partnership with the U.S. government, the Nigerian government views this as an opportunity to strengthen local resources mobilization and enhance the sustainability of HIV programs. There is no shortage of drugs and consumables, and no immediate stop of service for HIV treatment, testing, and prevention in Nigeria. Our treatment centers and pharmacy will continue to have sufficient antiretroviral drugs, ensuring uninterrupted access to care, she assured Nigerians. Still on the leadership newspaper this morning, FG defends emergency role in Rivers State. The federal government has defended President Bola Tinubu's declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State, describing it as a necessary step to prevent a complete breakdown of governance and a threat to national stability. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, speaking at the special edition of Meet the Press at the Presidential Villa in Abuja on Wednesday, stated that the president had exhausted all diplomatic means before taking the drastic step. Meanwhile, the emergency declaration caused an upset among members of the National Assembly yesterday, who were expected to deliberate on the president's emergency declaration in the oil-rich state. All eyes are on the National Assembly, which is expected to debate the declaration within 48 hours. A two-thirds majority is required from the federal legislature to validate the president's action. However, in the Senate yesterday, deliberation on the declaration was dramatically shelved even after it was initially highlighted for discussion by Senate President Godswill Akpabio. The House of Representatives, on the other hand, witnessed a mild drama on its floor when two female legislators from Rivers and Bayelsa states of the House exchanged words over the president's emergency declaration in the state. While the drama on the National Assembly lasted, President Tinubu swore in Vice Admiral Ikot Ete Ibas retired as the sole administrator of Rivers State. Speaking to the House correspondents after his swearing in, Ibas said his priority will be restoring peace and order in Rivers State. The president made it clear in his address that the key issue is maintaining law and order, he said. Still on the leadership newspaper this morning, Akpabio gave condition. I had to please him. Senator Natasha alleged suspension. Senator Natasha alleged suspension was retaliation. The suspended senator representing Kogi Central in the Senate, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has maintained that her suspension was a direct consequence of her accusation of sexual harassment against Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Akpoti-Uduaghan claimed in an interview with Sky News on Wednesday that Akpabio told her she had to please him to enjoy her privileges as a senator, describing her suspension as what she believed to be a calculated attempt to silence her. I made an allegation of sexual harassment against the president of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, on the 5th day of March 2025, and the very next day, I was suspended for 6 months. I believe my suspension is illegal. It's unjust, and it's just a way of silencing me, Akpoti-Uduaghan stated. Yes, they did mention that I was suspended on ground of gross misconduct, but can they please provide what the gross misconduct is that amounts to a 6-month suspension? The day after I submitted a petition, I was suspended because of that petition, not because of any gross misconduct. Akpoti-Uduaghan compared her illegal maltreatment to that of her male colleagues, alleging a double standard in the Senate. Let's talk about the gross misconduct that had happened in the Nigerian chambers. I was only told to move, and I refused to move my seat because I deserve to be notified. I deserve to be given a chance to explain why I should retain my seat. You see, I have been in that chamber where men fight, where senators throw items at each other's, causes each other, shout at each other, but they were not suspended. Why? Because they were men. Still on the leadership newspaper this morning, at the second edition of A.A. Rahman lecture, clerics hail Abdulrahman for restoring peace to Kwara. An Ilorin-based cleric, an Ilorin-based Islamic scholar, Dr. Saddam Hussein Folorunsho Fagba, has hailed the Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak for restoring peace to Ilorin shortly on his resumption to office in 2019. We recalled with nostalgia how Governor Abdulrazak swiftly eradicated Toguri, which was pronounced in Ilorin prior to his election as the governor of the state. Fagba, an associate professor of law at the University of Ilorin, spoke during the second edition of A.A. Ramadan lecture held at the AGM Abdulrazak's residence, Surulere, Ilorin, last Saturday. He said the Ilorin people were highly impressed by the governor's singular acts of restoring peace and tranquility not only to Ilorin, but to all nook and cranny of the state. Fagba also gave the Sardana of Ilorin a pat on the back of what he described as unprecedented infrastructure development across the state. Still on the leadership newspaper this morning, tourist content creator storm Kwara for a fun fishing festival. Tourists from 10 states across Nigeria recently gathered in Afon, the headquarters of Asa local government area of Kwara State, to witness the community's annual fishing festival. The colorful event also attracts content creators and key government officials to the bank of the Asa River where the fishing festival took place. Newsmen report that the country-old fishing festival gained prominence in 2023 when Jamiu Balogun, an indigene of Afon, in collaboration with Visit Kwara, a tourism promotion platform, began promoting the event. Jamiu Balogun, the lead organizer of Afon Fishing Festival, said that the festival has been steadily gaining popularity since incorporating elements of tourism packaging. He, however, emphasized the importance of support from national, state, and international tourism organizations for the festival. The district head of Afon, Malam Anofi Balogun, highlighted the long-standing tradition of the fishing festival in Afon and its commitment to promoting it on a global scale. He disclosed ongoing efforts to engage with the state government, which explained the presence of government officials at the festival. The chairman of Asa local government area, Alhaji Shehu Yahya, stressed the vital role of tourism in stimulating the local economy of Afon and headquarters of the local government. He affirmed the area council's support for the Afon Fishing Festival and its endeavors. The chief fisher head, Alhaji Abdulsalam, expressed delight about the shape the festival was taking, particularly during his reign. And on the Nation newspaper this morning, National Assembly to consider Tinubu's letter on emergency rule of law. The National Assembly will today consider a letter by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on emergency rule declaration on Rivers State. The letter to the two chambers of the Assembly was initially scheduled for reading to the members yesterday. In the Senate, a motion for consideration of the letter was stood down twice. The Nation learned that the decision by the Senate leadership to step down the motion was because members in chambers were not enough to muster 73 votes required to approve a state of emergency. Some senators were not present because of the ongoing Ramadan fast. Some are presently in Saudi Arabia for Lesser Hajj. Still on the Nation newspaper this morning, prison still in terrible conditions, says federal government panel. The federal government's visitation panel on prison has said the condition of the correctional centers and their inmates are appalling and unbearable. The panel, headed by former Ekiti State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Olawale Fakbonda San, found that most inmates are languishing in prison due to lack of legal representation and the inability of the legal aid to cope with the huge number of cases it is handling. The findings are contained in the reports the panel submitted yesterday in Abuja to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi. Fakbonda said in the course of the panel's assignments of auditing prisons, members interfaced with various categories of inmates and found their conditions unpalatable. The panel chairman said beside the challenge of lacking legal representations, most inmates suffer ailments that the prison authorities could not fund the cost of medications. And on the Tribune newspaper this morning, how NEL Fund is tackling issues of dropout and access to tertiary education. in Sidogo writes on the operation of some students in taking the loans from Nigerian Education Loan Fund in spite of its inherent benefits, concluding that more has to be done to make the process seamless for students. Rukayat Wasi almost gave up on her dream and contemplated dropping out of school as a result of the difficulties she faces every day during a 100-level study of a degree in accounting at the prestigious University of Ilorin, Kwara State. Still on the Tribune newspaper this morning, El-Rufai to Tinubu, you have no justification for suspending Fubara and others. Former Kaduna State Governor and chieftain of the Social Democratic Party, Nasir El-Rufai, has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to reconsider his decision to suspend elected officials in his emergency rule declaration in Rivers State. Newsmen report that the president, during a nationwide broadcast on Tuesday, declared a state of emergency in the rivers over a protracted political crisis, while also suspending the governor, Similai Fubara, his deputy, and members of the State of Assembly. El-Rufai, in a statement released via his personal X account on Wednesday, said the action was wrong, adding that the justification summoned by the Tinubu-led government in their defense fell flat. According to the former governor, who recently defected from the ruling All Progressive Congress, the Nigerian Constitution does not support suspension by the president, saying it is dangerous to our system of democratic federalism for an elected president to assume and exercise power to suspend elected officials at the state level. While acknowledging that the security issues cited by Tinubu in his nationwide broadcast deserve more serious attention and sustained effort to contain the threats and preserve vital national infrastructure, El-Rufai posited that the military could have been supported to deliver such responsibilities successfully through a state of emergency that does not require suspending elected officials. Still on the Tinubu newspaper this morning, Custom intercepts 7.6 million naira worth of smuggled petrol in Adamawa. The Nigerian Customs has recently had another significant seizure of premium motor spirits, PMS, in Adamawa State. This seizure comes just 2 weeks after the command showcased a similar operation involving PMS worth millions of naira. Acting on intelligence reports, the command took swift action and intercepted PMS, which was packed in jerry cans and drums, which was about to be smuggled to a neighboring country. During a press conference in Yola on Wednesday, the controller of the Adamawa Taraba Area Command, Garba Bashir, announced that the duty-paid value of the seized PMS amount to 72.6 million naira. Controller Bashir, while reaffirming the agency's relentless crackdown on smuggling networks, added, "In Adamawa and Taraba states, smuggler will not have fresh air. We have started strangling them, and we will continue to strangle and suffocate them until smuggling activities are purged out of the state." He noted that the latest operation successes in the month of March were carried out March 8th and March 13th. Still on the Tribune newspaper this morning, Nigerians are not lawless, Sokoto Attorney General. The Sokoto State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Honorable Nasir Mohammed Benji, says Nigerians are not lawless as perceived in some quarters, stating that few individuals' pockets of lawlessness should not be interpreted as lawlessness. Benji said this in an interview with journalists. Benji, who was reacting to the question on the impacts of law on good governance of the nation, said Nigeria has very good laws that could compete favorably with laws in other jurisdictions, particularly in the Commonwealth. He said, problem was the lack of enforcement, saying that it was a significant problem due to several factors. He listed impunity and delay in court proceedings as factors contributing to the challenges of law enforcement. We are not lacking in laws. We have good and adequate laws to guide the conduct of our leaders. Allow me to shock you, Nigerians are not lawless. that brings us to the end of today's newspaper review on Emirate Radio. Please continue to listen to all of our tafsir today and always on all of our social media handles, the Facebook, the TikTok, and of course can listen to us live on our YouTube channels, Emirate Radio, or download our app on the Apple Google Play Store. Thank you for listening and continue to stay safe. I am Latifa Ibrahim Arona. Have a great day.